Are you in a relationship and wondering whether it's worth staying in? Do you have this sinking feeling that it's just not meant to be and it's time to move on? Maybe the cracks are starting to show. You're feeling unhappy, lost, and confused, and wondering if ending the relationship is the best decision for the both of you. Today, we're counting down the 8 obvious signs that you should give up on a relationship. It's normal to feel a lot of confusion and guilt for wanting to end a relationship with someone. And these mixed emotions can cause you to second guess yourself and your mind becomes clouded. And for many, it's a real struggle to weigh up the good and the bad and know what's worth fighting for and what's not. Sometimes our feelings get in the way and we can't see when a relationship is no longer worth being in. If you're in this position right now, then it's important that you watch this video today. We will uncover what constitutes valid reasons to end a relationship to help you decipher whether it's time to pack your bags and move on. Some of what you discover today may be surprising, but know that all 8 points are very important and shouldn't be disregarded. Before we begin, we would love for you to click the like button and subscribe to our channel for the best dating and relationship advice. Plus, coming up, we'll tell you how you can get a free gift, the top 7 man-melting phrases that make men fall for you. This gift is all yours completely free of charge, so stay tuned to find out how you can get your hands on it. But for now, let's begin the countdown on the 8 obvious signs you should give up on a relationship, starting with number 8, your values, beliefs, and goals don't match. For a relationship to succeed in the long term, you have to at least somewhat have the same values, beliefs, and goals. In the early days as a couple, it possibly didn't matter. You were different people and that was okay. But the longer you were together and got to know each other, it was evident that you were not on the same path. This is a tricky one, because no one should feel they have to change who they are or what they believe in for someone else. For example, their religion, lifestyle habits, how they choose to spend their money, or whether or not they want to start a family. Your priorities do not need to align perfectly. In fact, having your own goals that you aim to achieve on your own is actually very healthy. But are there any particular deal breakers? Some things you may be able to find you can meet in the middle, as it allows flexibility, and for others, it's just not going to be achievable. So, if it's an issue that your values, beliefs, and goals are just so different from each other, then know that this will cause conflict in the future. Okay, next up is number 7. The relationship holds you back. A relationship should be uplifting and motivating. You should never feel like you're being dragged down or feel like you're unable to accomplish what you want in life. Maybe you have particular aspirations in life, but when you try to share them with him, he seems uninterested and he certainly doesn't try to encourage them at all. Or what's worse, if you do achieve something in life, he brings you down. He isn't your cheerleader at all, and instead almost tries to make your accomplishments seem small and unworthy. Or perhaps you just don't feel like you can be who you really want to be while you're with your partner. Maybe you want to travel, study, or focus on your career and get your dream job, but you feel almost guilty of achieving those things while you're with him. You ended up putting all your focus onto the relationship and everything else just faded into the background. Perhaps once you were so passionate about life and felt that you would do big things, and now you feel like you're almost stuck, wondering what you could achieve if you weren't together. You can still achieve what you want in life while being in a relationship. However, if he doesn't support you and you feel disappointed in where you're at in life, then it's time to make some changes. Remember that being with someone should improve your life and it shouldn't take away from it. Have you been in a relationship and felt you couldn't achieve all that you wanted to? How did that make you feel? Tell us in the comments below. Okay, moving on to number 6. You argue more than you don't. Are you or your partner feeling a lot more unhappy than happy in the relationship? Or perhaps you're genuinely feeling unsatisfied, feeling like your needs aren't being met. You know deep down that you're unhappy in the relationship, and unfortunately, this feeling outweighs the good. The same issues just keep occurring and nothing is ever resolved. And no matter how long you try to discuss these issues or overcome any obstacles, you end up right back where you were. No matter what the topic, you still manage to be on opposite sides. Relationships will always go through some rough patches. So if you've been arguing a lot more recently, it would be worth trying to really figure out the underlying cause and understand where all these problems have stemmed from. However, if the same problems keep occurring and you feel like you're facing the same issues months later, or even worse, years down the track, then you really are just going round in circles. You need to figure out whether the relationship is worth fighting for. If you cannot see eye to eye no matter how hard you try, then it might be time to move on from each other. You both deserve to be happy, and if you cannot achieve that together, then it's possibly time to end the relationship. Okay, next up on our countdown of the 8 obvious signs you should give up on a relationship is number 5, the emotional connection is gone. Having an emotional connection is required in a romantic relationship. It means you feel a close bond with your partner, you value one another, and you feel empathy and compassion for each other. Not only that, emotional connection forms a sense of security in the relationship, and it gives us a greater sense of belonging. Simply put, it's what ties you to each other. So what happens if we don't have an emotional connection? The frustration will grow, as will the wedge between the two of you. Relationships will seriously suffer without an emotional connection, and more than likely, it will cause the relationship to fizzle out. Here are some signs that you lack an emotional connection in the relationship. You feel isolated and distant from your partner. You feel like you can't understand or relate to each other. You don't express your emotions with each other. You don't turn to each other when in need for support. And you lead separate lives and prefer to do things without each other. Psychologists from the California Divorce Mediation Project discovered that a major cause of divorce is when emotional connection deteriorates. Not only that, it's a common reason that affairs take place. And that makes sense, as when someone doesn't feel like their needs are being met, they turn to someone else to fulfill the desire for connection. We all deserve to be loved by our partner. You should be with someone who inspires you, makes you feel worthy, and is someone that you feel a strong bond with. If an emotional connection is not present, then this could be a sign that your relationship has no future. Before we continue, we want to give you a free gift, the top 7 man-melting phrases that make men fall for you. This amazing report is a must-have, and it's all yours completely free of charge. Simply click on the link below in the description to claim your free gift. Okay, moving on to number 4. There's no sexual attraction. If you felt that you were never sexually attracted to your partner from the beginning, and this hasn't changed with time, then it's unlikely to suddenly appear. You simply cannot force something that's not there. Or if sexual attraction was once present but it has since faded, then this could be due to issues within the relationship that have prevented the bond and connection to grow. It's not about how often you have sex, but instead about whether you feel no desire to be intimate with your partner whatsoever. For example, it doesn't feel natural or right somehow to engage in being close with your partner. This doesn't necessarily mean that you find them physically unattractive, because how we're attracted to another is much deeper than that. Psychology plays a large part in what makes you drawn to someone. In fact, it has been said that people will be more attracted to those that we believe to be similar to ourselves. And we subconsciously can be interested in people that we believe may share similar important values, such as trust, dependency, and support. So, if there is no desire to be intimate with each other, then this could stem from other issues. And this ties in very well with our previous point on emotional connection. If you or your partner has next to no desire to have a sexual relationship, then this is a big sign that there is also no emotional connection. Both are so important and needed for a healthy relationship, because when we're having sex, we're connecting. It's common that over time to find that your sex life to change in the relationship. It can decrease as the relationship evolves. This is totally normal. But as the sex life may slow down a bit, the relationship should be changing in many positive ways too. Okay, it's challenge time. Can you fill in the blank? The relationship is blank. Any ideas? All will be revealed at number 1 on our list. Okay, moving on to number 3. There's no trust. Trust is huge for every relationship. Without it, your relationship will be on shaky grounds. Trust takes time to develop, and it's certainly not something that happens overnight. For some, it can take a long time to trust another person. For example, if they had their trust broken by others in the past, they may take longer to trust people in the future. Research has found that lack of trust is one of the leading causes for failed relationships. Lack of trust, unfortunately, can lead to many more issues. It can cause a decrease in intimacy and make you feel insecure, anxious, hurt, and fearful. Perhaps the trust has been broken several times before and it's unable to be properly repaired. Whatever the reason that the trust is no longer present, it's a major issue if it cannot be restored. Infidelity, unreliability, being dishonest, or lack of support are all valid reasons to feel like trust isn't present in the relationship. Never underestimate the importance of trust. Without it, we only live in fear and doubt. Don't forget, your free gift is waiting for you. Click on the link in the description to claim it now. Okay, next up is number 2. He attempts to change you or control you. No one should ever have the right to attempt to take control over your life. Sometimes it can be subtle, so it may be harder to pick up on in the beginning. And when someone acts in this manner, they don't usually come across as aggressive, making it easier to go unnoticed. No one should try to change someone. We all have good qualities and our own set of faults. For some, they think that they're doing their partner a favour by trying to better them. While it's great to encourage and support someone, this is not the same as trying to mould them into someone that they are not. So what are some of the signs that your partner may be trying to change you or control you? He tries to stop you from seeing certain people or turns you against people that you love. He criticises how you dress or encourages you to change your look. He tries to get you involved in the things that he enjoys but doesn't support anything that matters to you. He often makes decisions on your behalf as he believes that he knows better or what's right for you. This is manipulation, and it's not healthy. It will chip away at your self-esteem and slowly destroy your character. Accepting someone for who they are, flaws and all, is important. You need to be with someone who accepts you for who you are today. Okay, we've made it to number 1 on our list of the 8 obvious signs you should give up on a relationship. Do you think you know what it is? Let's continue to find out. Number 1, the relationship is abusive. This one is obvious. No one deserves to be in an abusive relationship, period. And I don't only mean physical abuse. All forms of abuse are not okay. Verbal, physical, and emotional abuse have no place in a relationship. They are very toxic and will only cause the relationship to crash and burn and have serious effects on the person on the receiving end the longer that they stay. There is no excuse for physically or mentally harming someone, and it should never be tolerated. To be clear, this is what an abusive relationship looks like. Physical abuse is when someone is physically harming you or has the intention of causing you harm. Emotional and verbal abuse is obviously quite different, but still very harmful. Examples of this would be receiving threats and hurtful comments, name-calling, feeling intimidated, and overstepping personal boundaries. All forms of abuse are harmful and can be very damaging. It can be more difficult to recognize emotional and verbal abuse, but it still takes a huge toll on your self-esteem. If you're in this situation, know that it is not your fault and this behavior cannot be tolerated, and it's definitely a sign that it's time to move on. A survey was undertaken to find out why people stay in abusive relationships. One of the main reasons was due to financial issues. Simply put, the victim felt like they didn't have the financial means to find their own place to live and start over. There were many other reasons, such as being in love with them, scared of being alone, or not wanting to break up the family if children are involved. Leaving an abusive relationship is extremely difficult, but the benefits on your well-being are massive. You can help yourself on the journey to healing by creating a positive support network of friends and family and learning to respect and love yourself again. That wraps up today's video on 8 obvious signs you should give up on a relationship. Don't forget, you can claim your free gift by clicking the link in the description below. We would love for you to click the like button and subscribe to our channel for the best dating and relationship tips and tricks. Thanks for watching and see you next time.